So you have an intraventricular block, and those are the bundle branch blocks. Remember, we have a right and left bundle. They can be blocked. They can kind of have a short in them, you know, and it tends to occur as we get older. You know, it's kind of like an old house where the wires eventually shorten out. The way we are designed is that every part of the heart can sort of take over on its own, which can also, of course, cause problems. But in a bundle branch block, if we have a short on the right bundle, the left bundle takes over. But the left bundle is going to do its own job first, which is depolarizing the left ventricle, and then it's going to propagate over to the right. And what we see on the EKG is that delay from where it has to come from the left over to the right. Or vice versa. If it's a left bundle branch block, the left is blocked. The right bundle takes over, does its own job on the right, and then it propagates over to the left. Okay. So the reason why we see changes is really because of that. In and of themselves, bundle branch blocks don't mean anything. The problem is that a left bundle can occur in the setting of a heart attack, number one. It can be caused by a heart attack. Number two, it doesn't allow you to diagnose a heart attack because of the changes that occur as part of the bundle branch block. Now, AV blocks, there's a hierarchy. You know, they get from, so you have a normal sinus rhythm, and then they kind of deteriorate until you have a complete third-degree block, AV block, where the connection between the top and the bottom completely fail. And really, the one that I think you ought to be able to recognize is the first-degree AV block, which is a lengthening of the PR interval, which we haven't really touched on before. We talked about the P wave, but the distance from the beginning of the P wave to the beginning of the QRS is called the PR interval. And remember, it's a one-to-one relationship. You know, the QRS and the P wave, they're happily married. They go everywhere together, one-to-one. You know, they go to bed together, they get up together, they eat together, whatever. Okay? But as the marriage maybe wears off a little bit, she's like, oh, I don't think I can handle his sleep apnea and snoring and his CPAP machine. I'm going to just sleep in the second bed. Okay? But it's still a one-to-one relationship. They're still married, they still go everywhere together, they're just sleeping in the second bed. Okay? And then as the marriage continues to worsen, that's when you get some of these other things, you know, where she decides to go visit the neighbor's house or her friends, she sleeps over at the neighbor's, and eventually she never comes home, or the third-degree block is divorce. Seriously. So that's how I teach AV block. But we're not going to go into any more detail than that. Okay? I think I'm boggling your brain already as it is. So bundle branch blocks, because they occur below the AV node, we are going to deal with wide QRSs. Okay? Above the AV node, we're going to have narrow, tall QRSs. Below the AV node, wide QRSs. Okay? There's various reasons why you can have a wide QRS. You can have PVCs. You can have a bundle branch block. You can have ventricular rhythms, something that originates in the ventricle, or pacing, a paced rhythm. Kind of creates a bundle branch block. Okay? They can be transient. You can have a bundle branch block that comes and goes. We see this in stress testing a lot, where it's so-called rate-related. You have, as the patient gets faster, as they're exercising, the heart, the production can't keep up anymore, and all of a sudden you're going to a bundle branch block, right or left, depending where the problem is. And as they're done, they slow down again, here comes the normal sinus rhythm. That's a sign of early conduction disease. They do that. It can come and go, and eventually it will be permanent. Okay. And there are very specific ST changes associated with bundle branch block. And it's the QRS in lead V1 that gives us our answer whether something is a right or a left bundle. And the one thing about a right bundle you want to remember is there are two R waves. So the rabbit ears, okay? The two R waves. Now they may be tiny. Okay? Some people call it the M or the rabbit ears. It's a right bundle, all this R, okay? And if you remember this imaginary horizontal line that we've been talking about, in a right bundle you'll have these two R waves. The QRS R wave is actually an S wave, which goes downward, is below the imaginary line. It's a mostly negative QRS in a left bundle. And the international symbols for if you don't have a blinker or you're on a bicycle, okay, right turn, left turn, okay, that may help. So, but it's the rabbit ears, R waves, right bundle. Okay, and it's the V1 you use to determine that. And then once you think you got it, then you look at V6 to make sure you got the right way. Did you have a question? Can you close up?
Oh, we just put the kind of
Okay,
right, left.
This is Europe, I think we do that, right? Again, I date myself because I, just take my bicycle. Okay, so here we have, this is a right bundle. And so we look at V1, okay, and it's not perfectly clear that you have two R waves, but it's V1, V2, V3 that kind of give you your answer. You see a little bit of it. You see this notch right here? You have an R and a little notch and it goes up again. That's actually your two R waves. Okay. Your QRS is broad. See how this is not a nice single flat line, but it's really broad. Okay. And your QRS, so the R wave is above your isoelectric line. The other thing you have with a right bundle, after you think you got it in V1, you go to V6. And usually, if you look back at all the other EKGs, we may have a little G wave, we have our R wave, going straight up and down, we have an S wave that hugs the QRS. It's very tight and narrow, one little neat package. In bundle branch blocks, the right bundle branch block in particular, that S wave sort of like goes away from the R wave. That, leave me alone. Okay. And we call it a slurred wide S wave. If you look down here, you see how you have your nice R wave, and then this S wave kind of gets pulled away from it? Okay, that's called the slurred wide S wave. That goes hand in hand with the right bundle. So if you think you have a right bundle in V1, you're going to go to V6 and see whether you have that wide S wave, the one that goes, okay? This is the opposite from this. See everything, here we have the R wave going, nice R wave going up, and if we're lucky, we truly see the rabbit ears. Here we have left bundle. And remember how I said, it's mostly negative? See how most of it is actually below the isoelectric line. You have a really big, deep S wave. Because it's opposite from right bundle, you would expect there to be a big S wave instead of an R wave in V1. And the other thing is that with a left bundle, unlike the right bundle, you have ST elevation. Up here, see where the point is sort of pulled up, and then you have your T wave. Point pulled up with a T wave. And you have ST changes in pretty much every lead with the left bundle branch block, which is why you cannot diagnose an MI in the presence of a left bundle branch block. Because that's what we look for. We look for ST elevation. Okay? So left bundle branch block, the QRS in V1 is negative. It's mostly below the isoelectric line. And in V6, rather than having a nice slurred S wave, we would have a wide R wave. And you see that over here. It's an R wave. There's not even an S wave, it's a wide R wave. Okay? And we have ST elevations pretty much everywhere. So here we have another example. So you're going to use lead V1 to focus on, but you can also, you can use V1